Hello, I'm Jason Barron. I'm going to read an excerpt from a book by Herman E. Talmadge. It's called You and Segregation. And I want to read the part where he talks about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln opposed desegregation. Abraham Lincoln, okay, this is on page 44 to 47. Abraham Lincoln, before and after he became President of the United States, held some definite opinions about the amalgamation of the races and its dangers. He spoke out publicly and with force and conviction on these vital issues. His statements may his statements may be read at any first-rate public library which has any sort of Lincoln collection. Here are a few of his public statements regarding the segregation and mixing of the races. In an address at Springfield, Illinois on June 26, 1857, Lincoln stated, "There is a natural disgust in the minds of nearly all white people at the idea of indiscriminate amalgamation of the white race and the black race. Quote, a separation of the races is the only perfect preventative of amalgamation. But as immediate separation is impossible, the next best thing is to keep them apart where they are not already together. If white and black people never get together in Kansas, they will never mix blood in Kansas. This is one self-evident truth. A few free colored persons may get into the free states in any event, but their number is too insignificant to amount to much in the way of mixing blood. Such separation, if it is ever to be effected at all, must be effected by colonization. The enterprise is a difficult one, but where there is a will, there is a way. And what colonization needs mostly is a hearty will." In his famous debates with Judge Stephen Douglas, Lincoln at Ottawa, Illinois, on August 21st, 1859, said, "I have no purpose to introduce political and social equality between the white and black races. There is a physical difference between the two, which, in my judgment, will forever forbid their living together upon the footing of perfect equality. And inasmuch as it becomes a necessity that there must be a difference, I am in favor of the race to which I belong having the superior position." Thus spoke the great emancipator. On September 16th, 1859, at Columbus, Ohio, Abraham Lincoln again spoke out on this subject when he said, quote, "There is no reason in the world why the Negro is not entitled to all the natural rights enumerated in the Declaration of Independence, the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I agree with Judge Douglas. He, the Negro, is not my equal in many respects, certainly not in color, perhaps not in moral or intellectual endowments, but in the right to eat bread without leave of anybody else, which his own hand earns. He is my equal, and the equal of Judge Douglas, and the equal of every living man. I am not, nor have I ever been in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. I am not, nor ever have been in favor of making voters or jurors of the Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. I will add to this that I have never seen, to my knowledge, a man, woman, or child who was in favor of producing a perfect equality, social and political, between Negroes and white men. I give Judge Douglas him my most solemn pledge that I will to the very last stand by the law of the state which forbids the marrying of white people with Negroes. Again, I'll read that. I give Judge Douglas my most solemn pledge that I will to the very last stand by the law of the state which forbids the marrying of white people with Negroes. After he became president, Abraham Lincoln on August 14th, 1862, recommended colonization to a quote-unquote deputation of free Negroes who called on him at the White House. Quote, "You and we are different races. We have between us a broader difference than exists between almost any other two races, whether it be Right or wrong, I need not discuss, but this physical difference is a great disadvantage to us both, as I think, he said. Quote, your race suffers very greatly, many of them by living among us, while ours suffers from your presence. In a word, we suffer on each side. If this is admitted, it affords us a reason, at least, why we should be separated. Quote, even when you cease to be slaves, you are yet far removed from being placed on an equality with white people. On this broad continent, not a single man of your race is made the equal of a single man of ours. Go where you are treated the best, and the ban is still upon you. I cannot alter it if I would. I need not recount to you the effects upon white men growing out of the institution of slavery and its evil effects upon the white race. See our present condition, the country engaged in war, our white men cutting one another's throats, and then consider what we know to be the truth. But for your race among us, there would be no war, although many men engaged on either side do not care for you one way or the other. It is better for us both, therefore, to be separated. When Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, he said, quote, I have urged the colonization of the Negroes, and I shall continue. My Emancipation Proclamation was linked with this plan. There is no room for two distinct races of white men in America, much less for two distinct races of whites and blacks. I can conceive of no greater calamity than the assimilation of the Negro into our social and political life as our equal. Within 20 years, we can peacefully colonize the Negro and give him our language, literature, religion, and system of government under conditions in which he can rise to the full measure of manhood. This he can never do here. We can never attain the ideal union our fathers dreamed with millions of an alien, inferior race among us whose assimilation is neither possible nor desirable. Thus spoke the founder of the Republican Party. End of excerpt. That was, again, from page 45 to 47. And yes, that's just common sense. If Lincoln would have been able to do that before he was assassinated, America would be a much more peaceful place. I'm Jason Barron. Have a wonderful day. I shall speak to you again soon.